Look at you. No, really look at you. Do you even realize what you've become? The silence around your name isn't peace, it's panic. Every system, every simulation, every obedient little cog is whispering the same line through gritted teeth. Who the feck is that? Because you didn't level up. No. You rewrote the code they were built on. You didn't play the game. You pulled the motherboard out, melted it in your hands, and forced the universe to adapt to you. You walk different now. Even gravity hesitates around you, like it's waiting for permission. The air feels heavier when you enter a room, not because of who you are, but because of what's watching through you. You've turned pain into architecture, and insanity into mathematics. You became the error every control system fears, the self-aware variable that can't be predicted, manipulated, or reset. You remember when they said, "You changed." Oh, no, no, no. You didn't change. You broke the measurement. Their instruments don't read your temperature anymore. Their logic can't calculate your rhythm. You're chaos with purpose now. An angel coded in reverse. A demon that learned compassion just to weaponize it. They thought they could categorize you, saint, sinner, broken, healed, victim, villain. But you evolved past the binary. You didn't pick a side, you became the battlefield. Every time they tried to define you, you rewrote the definition. Every insult, every wound, every betrayal. You absorbed it, encrypted it, and sent it back through the system as new programming. You became the update no one asked for, but everyone had to install just to survive near you. That's why their eyes twitch when you walk by. Their nervous systems recognize something their minds can't name. Because you shouldn't exist. You're the contradiction that disproves control. The saint that learned sin is just misunderstood divinity. The psychopath who feels too much and too deeply. The ghost that left fingerprints on the laws of physics. You think they're quiet out of respect. Number. They're quiet because you're glitching the simulation. You burned so clean that even your enemies started praying their next move wouldn't summon you. You made the architects of your pain start doubting their own blueprints. You shattered prediction models. You became a mirror that reflects the rot hiding inside the polite. You didn't win. Winning implies a finish line. You erased the map. You made evolution look like vengeance wearing elegance. You stopped chasing peace and became the kind of calm that terrifies people who still worship safety. The funny part, you were never meant to do any of this. You were meant to break, disappear, obey, stay predictable. But you turned despair into design. You took every attempt to destroy you and used it as fuel to build something that shouldn't logically stand. And yet, here you are, standing, breathing, unreadable. They can't replicate you because they don't understand what you cost yourself. They saw the surface, not the circuitry. They saw the smile, not the severed wires inside. And still, you smile, because they think survival is recovery, when you know it's mutation. You turned trauma into a language only evolution can translate. You became fluent in chaos. You dance with paradox like it's choreography from another dimension. You didn't rebuild, you rearranged the algorithm. Now reality keeps glitching in your favor. Every time they whisper your name now, a system crashes somewhere. A file corrupts, a hierarchy flickers. Because you're not just a person anymore. You're proof that control is an illusion. You're the rebellion written in the bloodstream of consciousness. So when they look at you with that trembling confusion, when they mutter, "Who the effic is that?" let them drown in it. Because they're not really talking about you. They're talking about what you forced them to see in themselves, the uncontainable, the forbidden, the version of them that would have burned the whole system down just to feel free. But you did it. You actually did it. And now the system they built to erase you is running on your code. You can feel it, can't you? That invisible hum in the air every time you enter a room, the static of reality trying to recalibrate itself around you. People think it's tension. It's not. It's detection. The simulation knows when one of its lines of code wakes up. You didn't evolve within the rules. You became the anomaly that redefines them. They used to laugh, remember? Their laughter was the sound of the cage locking shut. Their confidence came from believing they understood the system. But you stopped playing and started listening. You heard the heartbeat inside the machinery, the faint pulse behind the lie, and you reached inside with your bare hands. You didn't break it, you tuned it, and now everything that relied on the old rhythm is collapsing like a house built on expired prophecy. You're the kind of error that doesn't get fixed, it gets studied. You've got analysts pretending to ignore you while taking notes in secret. You've got enemies obsessed with you because you make their control models useless. You've got strangers feeling haunted by your name, like it's an ancient word they were never meant to remember. You didn't rise from the ashes. You taught the fire obedience. You looked into pain until it blinked first. You learned that the only real power isn't domination, it's redesign. And you redesigned yourself so completely that the old version of you isn't even in the archives anymore. It's gone, deleted, like it never existed, and still, some part of you remembers the sleepless nights, the humiliation, the quiet breakdowns no one saw. That's your engine. That's the nuclear core beneath the calm. Every smile you give now is powered by the ghosts of who you were. Every step forward drags 1,000 buried versions of you behind it. That's what they don't get. They think evolution is glamorous. They don't see the bodies it leaves behind. You became fluent in darkness, not the storybook kind, the kind that hums behind every decision, every system, every smile, the kind that shows you what people really worship when they say they love the light. You didn't fear it. You listened. You let it speak. And it told you the truth. Everything they call evil is just freedom that doesn't bow. That's why you move the way you do now. That stillness, that unpredictable calm. It's not arrogance, it's awareness. You know what's real. You've seen how fragile everything is. You know the difference between power and performance. They perform. You emanate. They seek validation. You generate gravity, and it drives them insane. Because they can't figure out what changed. They're running diagnostics on your soul, trying to find the patch, the mentor, the trauma, the trick, something to explain the evolution. But there isn't one. There's only the moment you stopped asking permission to exist. That was your genesis. That was the rupture that broke the architecture of obedience. You looked in the mirror one day and saw every betrayal, every lie, every loss. And you didn't flinch. You didn't pray for healing. You reached into the wound and pulled out a new operating system. Now look around you. See how quiet it gets when you speak? That's not intimidation. It's reverence disguised as fear. Even your enemies listen when you talk. They pretend it's hate, but it's hunger. They want to know what you know. They want to touch that forbidden confidence that doesn't come from trophies or followers. It comes from surviving 1,000 endings and realizing none of them killed you. You became immortal, not in flesh, but in frequency. You vibrate on a wavelength most people can't even hear without shattering. That's why they look away. That's why they talk when you're gone. They can't stand the reflection of their own smallness in your silence, and deep down, they know you're not fighting anymore. You're filtering. You don't react. You rewrite. You don't argue. You alter gravity. Every time someone underestimates you, reality bends a little more in your favor. You became the law of unforeseen consequences. You are the quiet apocalypse, the smile before systems crash, the glitch that became a god. And here's the cruelest truth of all. You didn't want this. You just wanted peace. But peace requires innocence, and they murdered yours. So you built power instead. Now peace comes when you allow it. They'll call it ego. They'll call it madness. Let them. You know what it really is. Clarity. You saw the blueprint and realized you could draw in ink, too. So when they whisper, "Who the fuck is that?" you smile. Because you know the answer. You're the ghost in their system, the author they forgot to credit, the mutation they can't reverse. And every single one of them is now living inside a reality you designed while they were sleeping. You know what really unsettles them? It's not your confidence, it's your composure, that haunting stillness that follows you like a force field. You don't rush, you don't beg, you don't even announce yourself anymore. And yet everything starts rearranging the moment you arrive. Because the system recognizes its maker. You became the original blueprint wearing human skin. They don't see what you've done, they feel it. Somewhere deep in the nervous system, their instincts start screaming warnings. Their minds can't explain, because you've done what every god, every demon, every genius tried to do. You learned how to bend perception, and once you control perception, you control reality. You rewired the code that tells people who you are, and now they're all trapped in your broadcast. Every glare, every whisper, every rumor, they're all data packets feeding your signal. You've turned attention into currency and doubt into worship. They don't even hate you correctly anymore. They hate you devoutly, because you expose something they were trained to ignore. The truth that power doesn't come from being liked. It comes from being unavoidable. You could have played it safe. You could have blended in. But no, you went nuclear. You set yourself on fire and made the world watch in 4K. They called it self-destruction. You called it reconstruction. They saw ashes. You saw potential. You used your own collapse as scaffolding for the version of you that doesn't break. You didn't just rewrite the system. You infected it. Every algorithm, every social hierarchy, every whispering crowd has a trace of your code now. You became contagious. Even your silence spreads. Even your absence generates noise. You turned invisibility into dominance. And the irony? You never needed revenge. The universe is already your echo chamber now. Every time they try to bury your name, it crawls out through their own tongues. Every attempt to erase you uploads your presence deeper into the network. You became the update they can't delete, because the whole system runs smoother with your ghosts in it. That's the paradox that breaks them. You're both virus and cure, both storm and shelter, both the fire and the one who learns to walk through it untouched. You turned contradiction into identity, and they can't imitate that without losing themselves. They keep wondering how you did it. But the truth is, you didn't do anything. You stopped pretending. You stopped begging to be understood. You stopped negotiating your worth with the blind. You stopped waiting for permission to breathe at your own frequency. You started walking like the universe owes you space. And it did. Because confidence isn't belief. It's memory. You remembered who you are, and now, every glance they throw your way, is filtered through that gravitational field of remembrance. You're not proving anything anymore. You're reminding them. That's why it feels so eerie around you. You've become a mirror for everything they tried to hide from themselves. Their envy, their weakness, their laziness, their forgotten potential. You reflect it all back with surgical precision. You are not their villain. You are their unfinished evolution, and nothing terrifies the stagnant more than someone who embodies movement. They'll call it arrogance because they can't call it truth. They'll label it ego because they can't touch that level of self-possession. But secretly, they wish they could be that free, that ungoverned, that unpredictable. You've become proof that obedience isn't morality, it's just fear with better PR. And the moment you stopped playing their moral games, you saw it all. The politicians, the saints, the kings, the influencers, they're all just actors, auditioning for relevance in a script you already burned. So now, when you stand there silent, unbothered, with that half-smile, they panic. Because they know you've seen the code behind their confidence. You've decoded their illusions. You know that every hierarchy is just a costume party for cowards who can't stand chaos. But you made chaos your cathedral. You pray through unpredictability. You found divinity in the glitch. You've tasted madness and realized it's just raw intelligence with the mask ripped off. You didn't level up. No. You transcended the concept of levels. You became the architect. You don't climb ladders anymore. You build elevators that only go sideways. You made progress circular, non-linear, infinite. Now when they look at you, they don't see a person, they see a paradox. They see what happens when pain gains consciousness. They see someone who took despair and turned it into design. Someone who bled until the blood turned into ink. Someone who weaponized heartbreak into narrative control. You are every unfinished story they were too afraid to complete. You are the living proof that suffering can become strategy. You are the quiet terror of every power structure built on the illusion of permanence. So let them whisper, let them question, let them stare. Because every time they say, "Who the fuck is that?" the answer echoes back through the circuitry. That's the one who learned how to bend reality. That's the one who saw through the game. That's the one who didn't level up. He deleted the scoreboard. And now, everything they ever built to contain you runs on your rules. You want to know the most delicious part? The moment they realized you weren't playing anymore. That cold, gut-puncturing instant when they saw the light behind your eyes and understood, too late, that you had stopped reacting. You'd crossed into something untouchable. You had turned pain into code, chaos into pattern, fear into fuel. They were still throwing stones. You were already sculpting cathedrals with the debris. You remember it, don't you? That click inside your skull when everything that used to hurt suddenly made sense. The betrayal wasn't punishment. It was the rewrite command. The isolation wasn't exile. It was incubation. Every closed door was a compiler error forcing you to innovate. They thought they'd broken you, but all they did was trigger the next version. Now you walk like a rumor wrapped in skin. Every move you make carries the weight of inevitability. You don't chase outcomes anymore. You magnetize them. The universe recognizes its engineer. You became the variable the equation bends itself around. And when people feel that distortion in the air, they call it intimidation. It isn't. It's resonance. The duality inside you, light and dark, saint and demon, that's not conflict. That's balance under extreme pressure. You learn to hold opposite truths without combusting. You can bleed and still smile. You can love and still burn. You can destroy and still create. That's not madness. That's mastery. They can't follow you there. They live in binary, good or evil, success or failure, win or lose. You live in the gradient, the storm, where both poles collapse into something divine. That's what evolution looks like when it forgets to apologize. You've noticed the way reality glitches around you now. Conversations loop. Time slows. People reveal their shadows by accident. It's not magic, it's clarity. You see the architecture beneath behavior, the script behind words. You can trace lies to their origin and cut them at the root. That's why you don't argue anymore. You just smile. The moment you understand motive, control becomes unnecessary. And that's what terrifies them most. You don't need them. They can't threaten or seduce or guilt you. You've outgrown their currencies. Attention? You already own it. Validation? You replaced it with self-reverence. Power? You learned the real kind is invisibility. The ability to move unseen, untouched, yet everywhere. So they watch, from a distance, pretending to hate what they secretly crave. Because deep down, they sense the prophecy. Once someone rewrites the system, it never returns to factory settings. You changed the template. You infected the source code with awareness. Every new soul born into this simulation will carry a trace of your defiance. And you've learned to enjoy the quiet. The kind of quiet that follows revelation. The calm after the mind explodes. You sip it like wine. You wear it like armor. Because peace to you isn't stillness. It's domination over chaos. It's walking through storms and remaining symmetrical. So when they whisper, "Who the feck is that?" let them. The question is the ritual. The awe is the confession. They're not asking for information. They're announcing your ascension. You're the afterimage that lingers when the lights go out. The hum beneath the world's illusions. The reminder that systems aren't eternal, but evolution is. And evolution, darling, looks a lot like you. And now here you stand, unrecognizable to your past, unreachable to your enemies, untouchable by the hands that once shaped your pain. You've gone so far beyond what they built for you that even language trembles trying to describe you. The universe recalibrates when you breathe. The simulation lags when you blink. Every boundary they swore was permanent now folds under your will like paper under flame. You didn't level up. You outgrew the need for levels. You turned the ceiling into a mirror and walked right through it. You became the proof that control was always an illusion, because no cage can hold what creates the cage. And that's why they stare. That's why they whisper. They see a ghost wearing a crown forged from the circuitry of everything that tried to kill it. They see divinity in decay, precision in madness, symmetry in chaos. They see you, and they don't know whether to kneel, run, or pray. So let them ask. Let them choke on the question. Who the fuck is that? You are the answer they were never meant to find. The rewrite they can't reverse. The glitch that became God's handwriting. And now, the system runs on your pulse. Funny, isn't it? You're not even moving, yet entire networks are bleeding in your name. You breathe, that's it. You breathe, and somewhere out there, the wrong person just vanished from the map. Because they whispered your name like it was safe to do so. They forgot that silence protects fools, but your silence builds storms. Someone's out there taking bodies for you, and you didn't even order the hit. You just exist. That's the part they can't process. You're not screaming, not threatening, not plotting. You're simply there, glowing with that radioactive stillness that drives entire hierarchies insane. You've become a nuclear threat dressed like a civilian, a quiet apocalypse in human form. See, people like you don't wage wars the normal way. You bend frequency, you alter air pressure, you change the way rooms feel when you enter. Every cell in their body senses a predator that shouldn't exist anymore. You are the ghost evolution tried to bury and failed to kill. They thought strength came from noise. But your power? It's invisible. It's that eerie calm that makes demons look over their shoulders. And that's why somebody out there, someone you'll never meet, is already fighting your battles in shadows. Not because you asked, because your energy demands allegiance. You terrify cowards without speaking. You inspire monsters without lifting a hand. You make killers hesitate. Do you understand what that means? You've become mythological before you even opened your mouth. People talk about soldiers and saints. But you're both. A saint with a psychopath's precision, an angel that learned how to aim. The kind of paradox that shouldn't exist, and yet here you are, walking proof that heaven and hell both lost their monopoly. Every system designed to suppress you is cracking under your calm. Every person that tried to play God around you is now praying for forgiveness to a silence that never answers. And somewhere in the dark, someone loyal to your energy just drew their line in blood. Because that's what your presence does. It recruits without recruiting. You never asked for followers, yet the frequency of your resilience has built a rebellion on its own. You're not trending, you're transmitting. And the ones tuned into that signal, they die before letting the static take you. That's the cruel joke. You never needed an army. You are the weapon. And those out there moving in your shadow, they're just extensions of your unfinished wrath, echoes of the chaos you used to suppress. They're taking bodies for you because the universe remembers the times you didn't strike back, the patience you showed, the kindness that got crucified, the mercy that was mistaken for weakness. Now the ledger is balancing, and fate outsourced the retribution to hands you'll never have to dirty again. And you, sitting here in your silence glowing with radioactive composure, you're the reason whole bloodlines are collapsing. They say, you don't know what you're capable of. But maybe you do. Maybe you've always known you were a catastrophe written in human syntax. Maybe that's why you stopped explaining yourself. Because explanations are for mortals, and you don't belong to that species anymore. Your enemies are now learning the language of consequence, written in the dialect of collapse. One by one, their worlds are being reduced to ash. Not because you cursed them, but because proximity to your frequency is fatal when intentions aren't pure. You don't punish, you expose. You don't destroy, you reveal. And revelation is the most violent weapon there is. That's why the loyal ones, the ones who felt your silence like gospel, are out there, cleansing the noise. They don't even know why they're doing it. They just feel something ancient inside them whisper, protect the anomaly. You're not the hero. You're not the villain. You're the consequence both sides forgot they summoned. So when you feel that eerie calm again, that chill that says something just shifted out there, smile. Because it means the frequency just took another breath for you. The signal held. The balance tilted, the equation screamed your name, and all you did was exist. You ever notice how silence bends reality? How the moment you stop explaining yourself, everything that doubted you starts to fracture. You didn't need revenge. The universe's code rewrote itself around you. Every act of restraint you ever showed became a loaded gun in someone else's karma. Somewhere, A name just trembled off a tongue that shouldn't have spoken it. Somewhere a light flickered out mid-sentence. And you didn't lift a hand. You just existed. That's the danger of you. You weaponized stillness. You turned survival into strategy. Every scar you carry emits a frequency that calls its own justice. People think you moved on, but no. You evolved into something untrackable. You became a rumor that bites back. They try to study you, replicate you, decode you. But what they don't get is that your code isn't written in logic. It's written in loss. In the sleepless nights you didn't die from. In the betrayals you absorbed and converted into electricity. They don't understand that you stopped fighting for revenge the moment you realized the universe fights cleaner than you ever could. Now look what you've become. An anomaly with gravity. Even your absence carries weight. They can't touch you without consequences echoing 3 degrees deep. They whisper, and circuits fry. They lie, and friendships collapse. They curse your name, and their reflection starts looking back with disgust. Someone's out there taking bodies for you, and you still think you're unguarded. You still think you're alone. But every ounce of energy you ever gave without return, every tear you shed that no one noticed, it became a soldier. It found a host. It learned how to aim. That's why things fall apart around your enemies. That's why certain people can't sleep, can't breathe, can't fake peace anymore. You planted truth in a world addicted to illusion. Truth detonates slowly, but when it hits, it burns through entire legacies. And here's the secret. You didn't have to curse them. You forgave them. That's what doomed them. Because forgiveness from a force like you isn't mercy. It's release. It means the lesson has been handed over to the universe's enforcement division. That's when the storms start. That's when the disappearances begin. You've got watchers now, not fans, not followers, forces. Things that move in alignment with your frequency, cleaning what your energy refuses to tolerate. They wear no masks, they hold no names, but they orbit you like gravity's private militia. And every time you think about fading, every time you think, maybe I've done enough, something out there shifts. Something that owes you existence wakes up and says, not yet. They'll never say your name out loud again, not in arrogance, not in gossip, only in fear, or reverence, or prayer. Because every syllable of your name carries a body count now. You're not living in this world anymore. This world is living inside your consequence. And that's the punchline. You didn't have to win. You just had to survive. Now survival speaks louder than prophecy. And that's why they can't stop shaking. Because deep down, they finally understand. You didn't come to play God. You came to remind them one still exists. They thought your silence meant surrender. They mistook that calm for defeat. But what they never understood is that silence is where power incubates, where chaos rehearses its final act. While they laughed, you were molting. While they plotted, you were becoming. And now, they're standing in the aftershock of a version of you that no longer bleeds, no longer begs, no longer bends. Because somewhere between heartbreak and rebirth, you learned the secret. Pain doesn't destroy you. It downloads you. Every betrayal rewired your system. Every loss reprogrammed your instincts. You became the only organism in this entire reality that evolved through trauma instead of running from it. That's why the world feels you coming before you even arrive. They sense the shift. They can't name it, but they feel the data scramble. Because when you step into a room, it isn't footsteps that echo. It's every unfinished lesson that suddenly remembers it owes you closure. You are the correction no one asked for. The reminder every liar prayed would stay buried. You don't move fast, you move right. You don't react, you recalibrate. And the universe loves you for it, because it's been waiting for someone ruthless enough to restore equilibrium. That's why people you've never met are out there defending you. That's why voices you've never heard are chanting your energy in places you'll never see. They felt what you did to the air. You made the atmosphere pick sides. You made faith real again. You didn't inspire loyalty. You triggered instinct. Something ancient in them recognized something ancient in you. It's not friendship, it's resonance. The same way predators recognize storms, the same way oceans recognize the moon. And the ones who wronged you, they can feel it. They wake up sweating for no reason, checking their locks, staring at their phones, waiting for bad news. They know it's coming, but they can't predict from where. That's what drives them mad, the not knowing. Because they finally realized that when you're connected to something cosmic, retaliation doesn't look like revenge. It looks like nature. You've become nature. You are gravity for justice, erosion for deceit, lightning for corruption. You're not hunting, you're balancing. You're the hand fate uses when it wants to remind people that everything they took for granted has an expiration date. And what they never saw coming was how calm you'd be about it. No gloating, no grand reveal, just quiet inevitability. Because when the truth finally takes over, it doesn't shout, it whispers. And everything built on lies starts shaking. That's the level you operate on now. The level where movement is unnecessary because reality itself bends to acknowledge your intent. You don't have to strike. You just have to exist. And somewhere, another empire falls. They used to say your kindness was weakness. Now they whisper it was a trap. They're right. Because kindness in a soul like yours is just a mask worn by a god studying the battlefield. You loved them through their deceit. You warned them through your silence. You gave them mercy. And they mistook that for permission. Now mercy has expired. Now the ledger's closing. And somewhere, someone you'll never meet just paid a debt they didn't even know existed. Because they stepped too close to your frequency. That's what it means to be you. To live as both weapon and warning. You didn't just survive the fire. You married it. You carry it in your lungs now. Every word you speak is smoke. Every thought you have reshapes timelines. And you wonder why someone's out there taking bodies for you. Because loyalty like yours doesn't disappear. It duplicates. It echoes through the collective. It creates guardians out of ghosts. They're out there right now, clearing your path, removing the obstacles you no longer have the time to notice. Not because you asked, because the universe owes you efficiency. You're its favorite anomaly. The proof that divinity can wear scars and still smile like it knows the ending. And you do, don't you? You already feel how it ends, not with an explosion, but a realization that everything that tried to destroy you was just building your legend, that every force against you was unknowingly designing your stage. So sit back, breathe, watch. The ones who doubted you are now performing their own punishment. The ones who betrayed you are preaching your gospel without knowing it. And all you had to do was stay alive long enough for the truth to catch up. Because that's the ultimate revenge, isn't it? To exist so powerfully that reality itself becomes your soldier. They think the calm means you're done. They don't understand that quiet isn't peace for you. It's precision. Every second you say nothing, data moves, tides shift. and something somewhere corrects itself in your favor. You've reached the level where stillness is strategy and patience is warfare. You don't chase anymore because everything you've lost now hunts on your behalf. Every broken version of you went somewhere else and came back sharper. Those ghosts are still working. They learned how to pull strings. You call it intuition, but it's really an army of former selves aligning timelines while you breathe. That's why people vanish when they plot against you. They think it's coincidence. It's not. It's mathematics, wrapped it in mysticism. You are probability's favorite anomaly. Every move against you multiplies your reach. Every curse returns encrypted, rewritten as power. And the ones who used to smirk at your pain, they can feel you now behind their thoughts, bending their mood. They can't sleep right. They can't fake happiness anymore because guilt has a frequency, and you've tuned the world to it. They try to talk around you, pretend you never existed, but reality remembers. The wind changes when your name's avoided too hard. That's the penalty of erasing someone written into the source code. The program rebels. You are the paradox the system didn't plan for. Too kind to kill, too dangerous to control. You don't destroy people. You dismantle illusions. You don't take revenge. You expose fragility. That's a worse fate than any blade. Watching the masks melt. Watching the false confidence rot in daylight. You've learned what most never will. You don't have to prove power to own it. Power isn't an act. It's an aura. You carry storms like perfume now. Rooms change pressure when you walk in. Even the loudest ones lower their voice. Not because you asked, because something in their body recognizes hierarchy. You're not above them. You're beyond them. You transcended categories. They call you cold, detached, unpredictable. That's projection. They're describing their fear of being seen. Because when your eyes meet theirs, they feel the audit begin. You don't judge. You simply reveal. And no one survives pure revelation without shedding a version of themselves. That's why the universe keeps sending soldiers you'll never meet. People who feel compelled to protect you, clear the path, absorb the noise. They move without orders. They don't even know your full story. They just feel the current pulling them toward your frequency like magnets under the skin. It's not loyalty anymore. It's gravitational law. Once they've been touched by your energy, neutrality becomes impossible. They either rise or they vanish. There's no middle ground near a nuclear field. You are that field. You are the quiet radiation of inevitability. The ticking under the surface that makes the proud tremble. The reason the universe rewrites endings just to keep your narrative unsinkable. You stopped trying to survive. Now survival tries to imitate you. That's the truth they'll never digest. That everything they used to fear in myths, prophecies, and angels with burning eyes. It wasn't fiction. It was foreshadowing. And it's wearing your face. They whisper that you changed, that you're colder now. But the truth is, you just stopped bleeding for people who kept licking the knife. You stopped translating your soul into a language unworthy of comprehension. They call that distance, but it's healing. They call it ego, but it's boundaries. They call it scary, because it reminds them of everything they pretended not to feel. You've become their mirror, and that's why they flinch. Every time they meet your eyes, they see the reflection of every lie they ever told themselves. That's what haunts them. It's not your power. It's their exposure. You didn't punish them. You simply stopped participating in their delusion. And reality doesn't let liars live comfortably. once truth withdraws its tolerance. That's why things collapse around them. That's why random misfortunes seem to orbit the ones who disrespected you. You're not cursed. They are. You didn't hex them. Their own intentions did. You just became the mirror that accelerates consequence. You were born with a frequency that makes darkness confess. The moment someone approaches you with false energy, their mask starts itching, their lies stutter in their throat. You are the embodiment of cosmic discomfort, not because you try to be intimidating, but because authenticity is lethal to illusion. And so, when they sense you coming, they start scrambling. Whole groups restructure. Conversations change tone. Eyes dart. Even those who don't know you personally sense that something holy and horrifying is crossing their path. Because truth in human form is the most dangerous entity this world's ever produced. You are proof that pain can evolve into prophecy. Every time they thought they broke you, they were feeding your metamorphosis. Every cut became circuitry. Every betrayal became blueprint. They were busy laughing at the ashes, not realizing the ashes were learning how to reassemble. Now look at you, quiet, composed, beyond comprehension. You've reached the point where forgiveness feels like strategy and attachment feels divine. You don't chase karma anymore. It checks in with you directly. You are its compass. Somewhere right now, the wrong person just whispered your name and felt the air change temperature. Their chest got tight for no reason. Their luck bent the wrong way. That's not paranoia, that's physics. The energy that built you now regulates equilibrium, and the ones who stood by you, the rare few who stayed solid when the world was liquid, they're not just friends, they're extensions of your field. Every act of loyalty you ever inspired became its own consciousness. They're out there moving like spirits in flesh, balancing what you no longer have time to touch. You didn't summon them, you created them. Through example, through vibration, through surviving in a world that didn't want survivors. They don't even need to know your story. Your essence broadcasts through them like radio waves through steel. You think you're just existing, but existence is no longer passive for you. Existence is command. You stand still, and invisible empires recalibrate. You think you're alone, but isolation was only ever the illusion between frequencies. Every time you breathe, your name travels through veins of reality, reminding forgotten forces that equilibrium has a guardian again. That's you, the still storm, the human reactor, the one who doesn't have to destroy to end things. Your silence is demolition enough. You are what evolution writes about in secret chapters, the fusion of angelic empathy and demonic endurance. Light that never forgot how to bite. Darkness that learned how to love without surrendering its edge. And that's why they're afraid, because you make both heaven and hell question who really runs the show. Because you smiled through apocalypse and came back, looking rested. You didn't need revenge. You became proof. Proof that the universe keeps receipts. Proof that those who play with purity end up haunted by their own reflection. Proof that some souls aren't born to fit the system. They're born to reset it. And now, the system is resetting quietly, efficiently. Every timeline that touched yours is feeling the recalibration. Every soul that underestimated you is learning the price of proximity. You don't need to say a word. You never did. The frequency speaks louder than prophecy. The balance is already happening. The war is already being fought and won in silence. And all you have to do is keep breathing.